Dust has settled, buckets have been filled, storages are doing well, everything is set up nicely. We've managed to recover with from the majority of the pain from last time, and I guess it's time to move on into what is left of the research tree, which is not a whole heck of a lot. Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. Yeah, last time we got the titanium alloy built, set up, and man, is this a royal pain. I don't think I had but maybe one little bitty problem with it, and I think the issue was that I had one of the exhaust pipes, I think, for one of these set up incorrectly, so it wasn't working. But as far as everything else worked, it's working. Well, it's working. I don't know how well it's going to work once time comes, but it is actually doing what we need it to do. So in between episodes, again, I let things run, did a little bit of maintenance just around all over the place because we did chew through every ounce of steel and a good portion of the wood we had stored up. So it's another one of those let the kind of things run and sort things out. We desperately, once again, need to upgrade steel production, as well as I need to kind of re-automate or reimagine how the tree farms are going to work. To the point I'm actually going to go ahead and start digging out this little mountain range that's right here. I know that's a long time from now, and probably what I need to do at this point is go ahead and upgrade both of these guys so that they can do a little bit more work. But those are our little guys. These were the guys I was using to do just a little bit of kind of messing around, digging some underpasses in a few places. And I guess since I have the ability to maybe upgrade them from here, I probably can if I so cared. But we're not going to worry about it right now. But yeah, we're going to have to start thinking about moving a few things a little bit better as far as trees are concerned. We're going to need to seriously start thinking about moving, smelting. And I know I keep saying that. I think we're probably going to start working on that fairly soon, maybe build them up here, or I just kind of want to move it a little bit closer to production. So steel, the next patch of iron, next steel patch, whatever, the next patch of iron we're probably going to be digging is this one, because hopefully in the fairly near future we will have a new hole dug through here. If not, what I will probably do is dig this one, since we have this sitting here. There's still enough room in here. Theoretically, we could throw another train down and have it, well, I'd have to do a little bit of moving around, but I think I do have access enough. We can move these buckets out of or move these containers out of the way, and then stick another one of these down like right here, and then mine this iron, although I don't think I'm going to really be very concerned about that patch. Again, there's some decent depth in it, but there's not a lot to be concerned with. However, the coal is doing well, so we'll see where we go from there. Yeah, we just need to kind of get through some of the rest of this stuff, and I'm going to hope that we have enough production at this point to try to keep things moving at least through the rest of how this goes. So the interesting thing, again, like I said, is that our current major problem is not so much when we're running science, everything seems to just kind of sit there and do well. The problem at this point is that with science and everything running maxed out, especially with this new little introduction of that titanium alloy facility over there, our power plant is not keeping up anymore. I've had to turn on our redundant system here, our backup system, or at least partially turn it back on so that we can try to at least make sure we're not overdoing what we were doing. So this has been running perfectly, flawlessly, ever since we've got the majority of it sorted out, but we are going to hit a problem here fairly soon where we have about another 400 spent mox that we can put into it. Granted, 400 mox is how much of this regular fuel? I forget, it's something like, what is the number here? Where's the thing? It is this number right here. So that one particular plutonium plus a little bit of that makes 2 mox rods. Each mox rod produces 1 spent mox, but if you look at that, it's like 8 of the current nuclear fuel that we will be using, I believe. This turns into, yeah, it's 2 into 2, 2 into 2. So we have a long way to go still before we hit that 400 mark, but I again have some stuff ready to go in case. And moving on forward, once we get the next thing, which we're going to start working on probably very, very, very soon. Matter of fact, if we can get it done today, I want to get it, well, not get it done today. If I can get it researched today, or at least started researching, our next major big project is going to be fast breeder reactors, because we need to start being able to reprocess all of that fuel and make more goodness from it. So fast breeder reactor is a different style entirely, and like I said, as far as convoluted and painful processes of how much stuff you know, steps wise that it takes to make something. The next big nasty step as far as what's left is a breeder reactor setup, because, well, then you have to process all of the stuff that comes out of here. So we do have a lot of steps here as well. And we'll have to make a lot more water, I think, too. We'll find out how that all goes. Anyhow, looking forward to the next step. Again, what we need to do is we need to build the space station, or the station parts 2, not the station basic, or the basic station parts. We need to build the next level, and that's pretty much going to be how we're going to be able to upgrade our space station in order to be able to do science for us and then take care of the problem. The fun part about this is, or at least the easy part is that essentially all we have to do is upgrade our current production. That's all we got to do is change a couple of recipes in here and, well, move things around. The big problem, I guess, at this point is that I have something like 400 or more of the current basic station parts, of which I don't think I can do anything with other than feed them to the space station. So I don't know whether or not we're going to be able to use them up, or if I'm going to just throw them away. Sadly, that's probably going to be what's going to happen, because, you know, it is what it is. So it's going to be a lot of composite panels, a lot of this stuff that we've been just kind of chewing on down the drain. It'd be nice if there was a way to convert from one to the other. There isn't. You know, it's, again, another one of those kinds of things where you look at it and you go, why is there not a pathway to take this and convert it into the next one with some extra parts? Kind of the way you get to upgrade various other things. There is not, or at least not from what I can tell. Again, we're talking end game stuff, and I'm quite certain at this point in time there's still a lot of work that they probably should be doing. Anyhow, all we need to do, essentially, in order to move to the next step is delete a couple of belt lines in here, move a few things around, change a couple of recipes, and then we should theoretically be good. So I want to immediately stop this one so that it's not making those parts anymore. And I want to immediately stop you so you're not making those parts anymore. And then I want to get rid of this so it's not making those parts anymore, which should be this one to there. And then all we got to do is, again, just replumb a few things. So this can go goodbye. This can go goodbye. That whole belt all the way back over to there can go goodbye. And then we'll let all that clear out and move a couple of things around. I think actually what I want to do is I want to take this one and delete it kind of out of the way to about maybe there. And then, I don't know, maybe to about right there. We'll see. And then that should be it. Then all we have to do is haul in a couple of new parts. So you don't need steel, you need aluminum now. Nope. Nope. Go away. Yeah, so the only thing that one's going to keep, so it doesn't need this either. I suppose, why don't we do that and remove this. Unpause. I probably should have let that thing just kind of empty its parts out, but again, I'm not really worried about it. Any of these leftover things, like what's here, these ones here, we're just going to go ahead and remove them from the belt. That way we didn't have a whole lot of them sitting around. And then I might, well, we'll see how this all goes. We may end up just moving a couple of things around and seeing how that all happens. Now, I want you to get a box going for the electronics 4. Unpause. I don't know if that makes the most sense to do it from this one, but we'll do it from that one. And then I'll probably just dump it and move it somewhere else, and then we'll just have a double box of these things sitting around. I'd like them to take at least one more load up there, or maybe 2, just depends. We have a while. I do have a decent amount of time, and yeah, we'll just have to bring 120 of those things up there, so we just need to get making on them. Where was I? Where did I go? I got lost. Come back over here, please. Good. So everything here should be clean. So this is going to need the aluminum, which is right there. Go. You're going to need silicon wafers. So I think we'll grab us a unit storage right here. You know what? I'm not going to make it a big one. We don't need to make it a big one. Silicon wafer. That. Keep full. And one of those from here to there. All right. And then that can get unpaused, unpaused, unpaused. And that said, keep full. I already kind of stuck a box up in case, so we can do you to there. You are going to require silicon, or the alloys that we got done making. I will bring an entire large store box over here. I guess you don't even need that either. Well, yeah, we'll make a small one for now. Trying to keep certain things in line so that we're not getting into the road. Copy to there. And you are going to be alloy. And allow, keep full, unpause. And then I have to just pull a belt of the red stuff wherever they are. So, all right. Before I get excited, I don't want to forget this. I wanted to clean this mess up slightly, at least get it kind of out of the way. Can I go to about there, maybe? Ooh, that might even look better. Will you let me do that? You will. Okay, cool. And I guess I didn't need to drop it that much that quick. Can we, from here to there, then? Okay, so that should clear that nicely. Good. Delete. And build. Build. Did that connect? Okay, it did. Good. Build. Alright, so then we need some red. Or the electronics, whatever the heck these things are. 2, 3, 2, 3, something like that. We'll grab you guys right there. Take you all the way up over. No, up, all the way in the air. Stop connecting. Just stay straight all the way there to there. And then can I dive under there? Beautiful. Come to there, and then that needs to get plugged in there. Is that the same size? Good deal. And pause. We need to turn that back on. Thank you very much. Again, I would love some circuit conditions where I could measure off of a tank and turn something on and off based off of what's going on. All right, well, that was done. So we should now be producing the the good solar cells. We may eventually sneak a line of that off somehow. I don't know where, but I may. And then we may start placing some of those around. So all we're short now is the composite cores for the regular things. Again, I'd like to kind of use up what's on this belt, so I may let the game run for just a little bit here while we burn some maintenance, I suppose, and then we'll see where we go from there. So you're going to be crewing. We're bringing people up there because they needed to trade. That's fine. And then we'll be seeing about whether or not we need to make another one of these, because we might have to. I don't know. Okay, the wafers are up. The aluminum is up. You are producing the new composite core part Mark II, whatever that is being fed into here. And I need to crud. I want to get rid of that one, but I think I'm going to have to do both, aren't I? And there we go. Now, we are going to wait for this to empty this belt line. Like I said, I'm going to let it run maintenance for a little while, I suppose, here. I should have done this. Should have shut it off prior to this. I have a long time to go, so that's point... ooh, wow. Yeah, we've got almost an hour. Nuts. Well, I guess we see what this all does, because we're going to have to do that. And I am contemplating possibly sticking one of those in right there and then running a secondary line around just so that we have plenty, because we do have an excess amount. I mean, we're needing, what is it, 64, and I think I am making what now? $96. So that means I could theoretically eat 3 of those. How much would 3 of these make? 96 a minute. I think we'll see how that all works for the moment. We are going to need to let it do what it needs to do for the time being. I might move this out here, though, just to kind of get it out from underneath all that mess. I don't know why I did that. But anyhow, let's I'm gonna let this run for a little while, maybe not very long, or maybe I'm just gonna get impatient and move this out of the way. But yeah, we'll wait until we get a little bit of that stuff set up, and then we'll see what happens. Alrighty, well, the box is full. That should be allowing us at least enough to be able to transport all that up there, and then still have enough left over in case we need to be able to run a little bit of maintenance. So let's build us a thingy. I suppose we'll do it right here. And you will no longer do that. You will be... You know what? Actually, I should probably just dump the other one. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. I need station parts. We'll do this. You stay full. And we'll just bring you in right there for now. I'm going to leave this one shut off. I've got it set that direction. And sure, we'll just go ahead and do this. Let them go ahead and fill that box up. So that way we should be able to deliver all of what we need to do. Sure, it's going to take, well, it might take it a couple of launches for certain. We'll have to do at least 3, I believe. And then we can see where we go from there. We already have a rocket ready to go. So, yeah, we'll have this built in a short period of time. And then it'll be ready to go. It might take it a couple of minutes. But once they get that built and filled, then we should be able to do what we need to do. So you will be allowed to carry those, and I'm going to drag this all the way to the bottom, and I suppose you go on top. And I think, depending on how things go, I mean, we may waste this. I don't know. Again, it seems like every time you play space for somebody, in whatever it is, you always end up wasting parts. So let's see what happens here.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Launch that. All right. All right, 2 more of those, and then we find out what happens. Yeah, that's gonna hurt real fast, but at least we should be okay here. Nice. We still have a little bit in this. You're gonna have to wait on these to get built. And sure, we're just gonna, as soon as that gets fueled up and loaded, which is gonna take it a second or 2, and we should be good. Well, good again, you know, with relatively speaking, how all this stuff works. I mean, I could have had them deliver some over here, but it's fine. We'll just see what happens with this mess. Alrighty, we're almost there. 140 hydrogen. And that should be the beginning and the end of this being a Space Station 2 and, well, beginning Space Station 3, end of Space Station 2. and we find out what happens. Okay, so immediately we're going to need the crew give supplies, and yeah, okay, so they're going to need supplies, they're going to need this, and again, we're at 0.75 per minute, so I shouldn't need to upgrade any of the speed that we have over here. And I did make sure that I had a little bit left over, so we have about 50 or 60 that should last us for a little while. All they need to do now is get some food and some rockets into things. Yeah, I might need to make one more of these just for the grins of it. I don't want to say that it's going to be that kind of a thing, but we may need to do a little bit of work over here. We'll see. After that, it should be able to catch up, though, so we should be fine. You'll get dumped in. That, I don't know what it would have brought. It brought people, and then we need to get some food up there, which they should have food in just a minute. Yeah, as soon as that launches, then we should be okay. And that'll deliver 40 food just in time. Yep, just in time. Good deal. All right, so we now have all the things it needs, and it's going to wait until this gets down to about right there before it delivers any station parts. So then the question then becomes, how do we do the research? Do I give you... We don't need this anymore. I'm going to take the food off of you for now. Well, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to put that on here. And I'm going to put the food down on the bottom. And that... Okay, now I was going to say that one's going to happen. I might change my mind here. All right, I need to make a box to get these extra parts out of the way. I guess we'll put them in our graveyard storage over here. Let's move a few things around and then see about what it takes to get science going. And I think what we'll do is... I might even go ahead and set like the astronauts up in this as well. And then just do like a double kind of thing. Make them both look the same here, aside from this one being the one that launches this. And then this one can also do these if needed. Okay, did I set this to be available? I did not. Go. So that should split those up between those two.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
What are you going to take up there? You're bringing more parts. Okay, well, we knew that was coming. There we go. Okay. Caught it just in time. So that'll last us 40... Well, a little over 40 minutes. What is that number, actually? I guess 40 divided by 0.75, or excuse me, other way around.
5, 4, 3, 1, liftoff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We have lots and lots of time, so we at least have a half an hour, well, an hour, maybe 50 minutes at this point. So that should have delivered. Okay, so we now have space science being produced. Okay, so it is that slow then. Really? Well, then I suppose the thing we do immediately, like I said, is we kick that on, because I should have one of these sitting here. All right, well, if I'm going to do that, then I need to do the best that I can as far as efficiency. Let's go over here. I want you all the way up, you down, you down. That's there. And I think we do this and that and give them some extra food. And we see what that does for us for a little while. So that should be research efficiency at this point time here, 60%, plus the efficiency that we get out of the 124. Then I guess we do what we do and we let it run and see what happens. So I'm going to let this go for a couple of minutes. I'm assuming that's all I'm going to be able to do. Interesting. So I'm only ever going to be able to do that much, period. It's only ever going to be able to do 48 up here, which means we'll only ever be able to do 48 at the bottom. So it means there's no point in running anything more than one research lab. And we spend all the time in the world, 23,000 points. We see where it goes. All right, then. Well, we're back to doing science. We're doing space research. We've got the station set up and ready to go, at least for, Space Station 3, and we're making space science. I question, is this giving me aluminum? I suppose before I forget it, is this giving me aluminum recycling? Or is that a no? If I was, I would be seeing it. So all of those are coming into this one. I suppose we could pause that and that for right now to save on materials for the minute. I do not see any aluminum scraps, so yeah, we haven't made any at all produced last month, period, in either of those. Okay, so that's kind of what I was wondering, is whether or not the aluminum was coming specifically out of the settlements or not, which means that electronics, the last thing that we can feed these people is an electronic device, like a laptop or whatever it is, that will produce the aluminum recycling, at least that I'd figured we were going to get. So interesting. Okay, well, we will sit here and slowly grind this mess out, or at least I'll try to grind it out. That's going to take a really, really long time. I might have to sit down and do some research and find out if there's a way that I could make this work faster, unless that's part of the office building thingy. But anyhow, I guess that's good enough for now, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back hopefully next time with a new project that's going to be something along the lines of tearing apart power again, I think. So I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.